Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. This video is part 4 of an 8-part video series that I am making featuring this 25-book modern submission that I just got back from CGC. These 25 books are all X-Men themed and were released decades apart, and I love the X-Men, so I am really excited about finding out what the grades are on these books. Now, just so you know, I sent these books off to CGC in May of 2021, and they have just come back to me now at the end of July 2022. It took about a year and 2 months. Now, part of the reason it took that long, I did have these books pressed at CCS, and that takes a long time. So I am really excited after all this time to have these books back and to see what grades I got. Now, this video is a test your comic book grading skills video. So what we do in these videos is I show you video that I took of these books when they were raw, before they got sent to CGC. We'll take a look at that video. We will assess the books for any flaws, any damage, anything that might affect the grade negatively. Then we will give our best guess as to what we think the grade might be. After we've done that, we will pull 3 books out of this box and we will take a look at the results from CGC, compare them up against our guesses, and see how we did. If I'm way off from the grade that I expected, we'll probably do a little bit of a post-grading analysis. We'll work backwards and see if we can't figure out why CGC gave the book the grade that it did. All right, I'm really excited, as you can tell. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 books that we are going to be talking about in this video when they were raw. All right, first up, we have X-Men, issue 114. Fun fact about this book is that this is the first time the words "The Uncanny" were written above the title. The title of the book is still X-Men and doesn't change officially to The Uncanny X-Men until issue 142. But this is the first time you see those words on the cover. There's your fun fact. So this book has a slight miswrap, which actually helps hide any damage. The spine ticks that may be color breaking are harder to tell because of that extra white there, but there are spine ticks there, so I don't think it's a 9/8, but in general, there aren't very many of them. There's maybe a little color rub in that corner, but nothing that's too significantly bad. And this is a dark cover, so issues, flaws are really going to show up really clearly. Now, the edge there might be not as sharp as it should be. I think the press that all of these books are getting might help that out just a little bit. And some of that might just be the way the paper was cut. But the front of this book looks really pretty good. I don't have too much by way of complaints. Most of my issues are here on the back. Now, once again, these books will be getting a press and a clean. So there are some creases in there that might be helped by the press. I don't know if they will go away completely. And a lot of this kind of dark area that you see along the edge there, I believe that's dust, and they will be able, like dirt, and they will be able to clean that up significantly. Now, it looks like there's some damage there next to the spine. That's going to hurt the grade. So, like I said, once again, I think they're going to clean up a lot of those black spots. I think these creases will be helped by the press, but they won't go away. It's a really nice looking book. I'm going to give it a 9.2. Next up, we have X-Men issue 96. This is a really nice book and something I'll mention later. This is the oldest book in this submission. Now, this book, as you can see right off the bat, had some spine ticks up there at the top. But considering how old this book is, it's actually not in bad shape. There's some damage there across from Cyclops' ankle there on the spine. There are some small color-breaking spine ticks. Boy, there's a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one at the top, of course, and that black banner is the worst of them. There's some color rub in there as well. So, yeah, out the gate, we know this isn't a 9.8. We know this isn't a 9.6. but it is a pretty good looking book. That next to the TM there along the edge, that will get helped by the press. But the rest of this book looks really good. That corner looks a little folded over and damaged. I bet you that'll hurt the grade, but the press will help flatten it out and make the damage look less significant. But this is a pretty nice looking copy of this book. Now, something I like to remind people that I like to do is I like to take my books to area with nice overhead lighting and bounce that lighting right off the books. This is not the best example of me doing that, I will add, but it's a good thing to do because the way the light interacts with the paper, any kind of creases, any kind of folds, any kind of damage will be seen more clearly in the bends of the light. A lot of this darkness will get cleaned up once again, but there are, creases in there, stuff that will not go away with the press and the clean. And this corner here looks a little dirtier than I like it to be. I bet you that won't go away completely. This book has more flaws than the last one, but not significantly. I'm going to give it a 9.0. And finally, we have X-Men 101. I'm sure most of you know the deal with this book. Now, this is a mid-grade copy. Definitely not a great copy. Someone decided to write 10 cents on it. Thanks for that. You also see lots of color-breaking spine ticks there along the edge. There is a miswrap once again, so they're hiding them and protecting them, so to speak, just a little bit. But they're clear as day. You can see the damage. You can see the scratches and the creases that are color breaking there parallel to the spine. I mean, this book clearly has lots of damage and will clearly not get a high grade. You can see the damage there along the top. You can see there in the middle of the logo and some color rub there on the E and the N. There's damage along the edge there and color rub and more damage in the bottom right-hand corner. This is a feast for the eyes when it comes to damage, but it is still a really great book and a book that's valuable basically in any grade range. So I will take this mid-grade copy any day. On the back here, you're going to see that is a deep crease. I don't care who the presser is, that crease is not going away. It'll be helped a lot by the press, but it will not go away. And there's even a little bit of like a tear or a pull. That's not going to get helped. Now, I bet you a lot of this dirt on the back here will clean up, and hopefully the people at CCS will be diligent enough to go after that. I think they will. And I think a lot of that's going to clean up, but the damage is the damage, and that's not going to go away. And they also can't clean up just everything because the area that has printing, it's not as easy to clean up, but the white areas they should be able to clean up. But this is a good-looking book, but it's got some major problems in it. I'm really unpracticed at this grade range, so I'm going with a 4.5. All right, so you've had an opportunity to take a look at these 3 books when they were raw. You've assessed them and you've given them your best guess as to what you think the grade should be. I've shared with you my best guess at what I think the grade should be. Now we're going to find out what the actual results are from CGC. I have my little sheet here that I made over a year ago with my guesses for the grades right here. Now, you already know what the next 3 books are going to be because you just saw them in the raw. I have no idea. I'm pulling these out at random, moving from one side of the box to the other side, and they are not in this box in the order of this list. So I have no idea right now what the next 3 books are going to be. So I will discover it as I go. So I'm using my peripheral vision here. They're starting to fall over something. Okay. I use my peripheral vision to pull it out. I can feel what the back of the book feels like. So I can keep the face down and I can cover the grades, and then I can show you the book and show myself the book and see that this is X-Men 114. All right. Let's see. What did I think the grade of this would be? It was my best guess that this would be a 9.2. Now, keep your guess in mind, and let's see what the results from CGC are. Okay, how'd I do? Am I going to be happy or sad? 9.6, that's great. That is great. Okay, so I was a little bit more off. In a lot of these videos, the common theme has been that I have been 1 grade increment below what the actual grade was. This one, I was 2 grade increments off, which is not great. I want to be either right on or 1 off. I'm okay with being 2 increments off, but I don't want to be, because I want to be able to assess these books as accurately as possible. That being said, I'm very happy thinking I was going to get a 9.2 and end up getting a 9.6. The reason why I tend to be a little bit harsh in my grading, especially a year ago when I sent out this submission, because I want to protect my value. I always take what it cost me the book raw, what the book cost me raw, plus what it's going to cost for all the grading and the pressing and the shipping and all that stuff. And I want to make sure that I am going to get a grade that is going to protect my investment. And a 9.2 would have been perfectly fine by me. A 9.6 is much, 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 much better. So I'm very happy about that and super stoked to have this book in a 9.6. This is, by the way, the first use of Uncanny, the Uncanny X-Men in the logo. It's still just called X-Men in the title. It didn't become officially in the title the Uncanny X-Men until issue 142. But they started using the word the Uncanny in the title starting with this issue, issue 114. So it's kind of special and important in that regard. Okay, that's a pretty good start. Like I said, it's not so good as far as my grading skills are concerned, but it's good as far as my results are concerned. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next book in this box, covering the grade, looking to see what we got here. This is X-Men 96. X-Men 96, people here. I told you there are some older books in here, and this is one of them. X-Men 96. Now, what did I think? This is the oldest book in this submission. December 1975. Pretty amazing. All right, so I thought that this book was going to get a 9.0. All right. Keep in mind your guess, and let's look at the results. Okay. Am I going to be happy or sad? Let's see. 9.4. Okay, great. That's great. Very similar. I mean, I can see a flaw immediately. Like I flipped it over and the first thing that drew my eye was this flaw right here. So it was obviously never going to be a 9.8. But listen, similar to that first book, I was 2 grade increments off and 2 grade increments below. So that's fine. It's fine. It's not ideal, but it is fine. So I'm happy with these results, especially because it's, you know, better than I expected. So that's really, really great. Wow, what a cool cover, huh? With all that yellow. And this is an older book in a 9.4. That is a really, really great thing. Oh, I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last book that we're going to be talking about in this part of this series. And once again, face down, covering the grades. What have we got here? We've got X-Men 101. The first appearance of Phoenix. Now, I'm very, very happy. If you've watched my videos, you know already I have one of these signed by Chris Claremont in a 9.6, and I am stoked about that. Well, this one is not going to be a 9.6, but let's see what it is going to be. Now, it was my assessment back over a year ago that this was going to be a 4.5, and I am not very good at grading in this grade range. I have very little experience, I will full on admit, in giving accurate grades in this grade range. So it could be anything as far as I'm concerned, but I thought it was a 4.5. Let's see what the results are. Frankly, I will be extremely happy with anything above a 4.5. So let's see what it is. A 5.5. Okay, that's great. That is great. I will totally take that. I don't think that there is a huge value difference for this book between a 4.5 and a 5.5, but absolutely, unquestionably, a 5.5 is much better than a 4.5. And there was a consistent theme in this part of the video where all of my assessments were 2 grade increments lower than the grade I received from CGC. So at least there is some consistency in my ability to grade. And like I said before, I admit I have been, for this submission, I was harsh and what I like to call overprotective in my grading to make sure that I protected my investment. And that shows in me being just below the final results. But this is really great. This is a fun book to have in a 5.5. It looks great. It looks way better than a 5.5. It presents really, really well. So I think this makes me very, very happy. All right, so that's it for this video. If you're enjoying this series and you haven't already subscribed, I definitely recommend you subscribe so that you don't miss the rest of the parts. And if you like what I'm doing here and you're learning something, likes are appreciated by me. All right, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.